This is Keith Henry here at the Physical Education Complex on the campus of Coppin State University. It's preview time once again. It's baseball time coming up this weekend, weather permitting. And I'm here with the head coach of Coppin State Baseball, Sherman Reed. Coach Reed, talk with the players a little bit. There's a lot of excitement. They can't wait for the season to start. And they're so anticipating. They're real pumped up for how this season is going to be, Coach. Yes, there's reason to be so. There is reason to be pumped up, Coach. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean this is the time of the year. You talk to any college baseball coach, it's nothing like opening college weekend. Everyone's very optimistic about what they feel they can put on the field in that given year, and we're no different. I think that we've got a lot of veteran pitching. Our pitching is really deep and upper class bound with a lot of really good junior arms. A couple pieces we've added from the 2017 class, have had great falls, and the 3 week preparation that the NCAA allows us for opening weekend. Um, the guys all really did a real good job. So we're ready now to get after it and go down to Greensboro and play a very good MEAC conference team.
Um, Coach, talk about what you all learned from 2017 season. What were you all looking to take from the 2017 season that you want to bring into this 2018?
Yeah, I think last year, it still stings a little bit to have missed the conference playoffs by one game. I mean, we've been real successful. We've been have now become the norm 3 out of the last 4 years. Um, Playing and participating in our conference championship and missing it by one game the last weekend of the series. And we actually did our part, but we didn't get some help from a couple of the other member institutions in our conference. But we will feel the ball better. I think the outfield. I think the fielding percentages for our outfielders was probably the top one or two in the whole conference. So our outfielders did a real good job with Coach Watkins. On the defensive side of the ball, we struggled a little bit in the infield. We addressed those needs with a couple guys that we brought into the program this year. One, we brought in intercession. We brought a guy in mid-year. First time we've done that in 5 years since I've been here at Coppin. And the kid from Aruba has come in and shown that he can feel the ball. And of course, the freshman Derek Lohr, had a tremendous fall. And another guy that feels the ball really well. We got Treyas, who played some outfield last year, who's also going to be a big arm for us out of the bullpen. Proved to be a guy that can come in and play some really good middle infield to partner up with Derek Lohr. And then obviously we got the mainstay at first base with McElwain. So the infield is totally overhauled from where it was a year ago, and we feel that we're going to throw strikes. The pitchers are going to pitch, and the defensive players are going to defend the ball, and we should be pretty successful this year.
Knowing what happened last year, just missed it by one game. Did it spark the returning players as far as like, well, we don't want to go through something like this ever again?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, they realize, Keith, that every game counts. If you recall last year, we got off to a great start. In fact, in conference, we went on the road and we took two early road series at UMES and Del State, and it's never easy to go to Dover and take a series from Delaware State. So we came back feeling really good about our chances after 6 games, with a 4-2 record with two real tough road wins. But then you can't relish too much on that. You got to continue to keep the foot on the pedal, and I think we kind of, got caught up in the early success, and we weren't able to complete and finish it. And I came back. We lost some tough games that we really should have won. think now the returning players know you got to play the full gamut of games and you got to go at it and not take any plays off.
Um, Coach, again, you all have a tough non-conference schedule. You all don't have too many of the big dogs like y'all had the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But you all do start at a solid. You all do start the season set at North Carolina A&T, a a team that always seems to be in contention on the Southern
Yeah.
Division, and
Yeah, a case could be made. In fact, 3 quarters into last season's conference schedule, North Carolina A&T was really making a case for being the top seed in there. I think they slipped just a little bit towards the end, but Coach Hall's got a veteran returning team. I don't think they lost much, but maybe a guy out of the bullpen. So they pretty much got their team intact. So that's going to be a real good test. But you're right, we haven't had, this is first season, we haven't had a perennial top 40, top 50 team or program on our schedule. In the past, we've played to such programs such as Arizona, Auburn, University of Southern Cal this past season. So, but we're still playing some good programs in Wagner. Fordham, we haven't had on the schedule in quite some time, and Eastern Kentucky is an improving program with Edwin there. So we've got some new programs on our schedule that we haven't had since I've been here at Coppin. So we're looking forward to that. But it is a schedule that keep us from long road trips, and it's a pretty favorable out of conference schedule for us this year.
even in those out of conference schedules, y'all still keep the local ties. Y'all still go to UMBC, and I believe you all still go back to Towson.
Yep, we're gonna always have Towson. We have a home and away against UMBC again this year. Georgetown, Coach Wilk, we always have them a home and away. We have them on the game. Lehigh's on the game on the schedule as well. So it's like I said, we're not on the road taking some of the long, crazy road trips we've taken in the past. So it should be conducive for the guys to be able to sleep in their beds a little bit more this year. And like I said, we're really looking forward to this year because I think it was the infield play defensively that really killed us last year, and I think we've addressed that part of the game this year.
Coach, I'm looking at a couple of the key players, and obviously I'm looking at first base at Nazir McElwain, and you know how dangerous he is offensively and how good he is defensively at first.
Yeah, McElwain again. It's kind of hard to believe that the numbers that he put up as a sophomore, that he's only really entering his junior year now with half his career still ahead of him. He's just a confident young man, quiet leader, and it's going to be really fun to see what he does to duplicate the success he had last year. But then we've got a lot more offensive help around McElwain this year, bringing in the JUCO Heartland Community College transfer and Drew Thomas coming in. Duhay had a really nice fall for us, and now that we've got Caleb more focusing on playing outfield and hitting. Last year he kind of got pulled in two directions with the pitching leading the way. This year now he's settled in as an outfielder, so we're looking for a big senior year from Caleb Duhay. Then you also have a returner, Andre Santana, the senior, who batted over 300 last year, close to 300, was also one of our leading offensive and defensive players leading that outfield last year. So we have him back, and then Brett Helmbrecht, our catcher, batted over 300, swinging from the left side. And you've got Derek Lohr, like I said, the freshman that's going to be starting for us from the Seattle, Washington area, has shown really good offensive skills this past fall. And then you've got guys like Corey Treyas that can switch hit from both sides. You've got Alan Sarr, who swings them from the left side. So we've got a lot of offense. So Nazir McElwain will be supported by some guys around him that we hope can get the job done offensively and take some of the pressure off him. But clearly, he's the leader of this team offensively.
Coach, I see you added a new coach to the staff.
Yeah, we're happy to have Coach Blevins coming up from North Carolina. He's going to. We were really fortunate to get him so late this past winter. But he's going to come up. He's going to assist Coach Watkins with hitting. He's going to be the head coach for the catchers, and he's going to also do some base running with us. And he's come in and fit in real well with what we're trying to do here at Coppin, and we're really happy to have Matthew Blevins.
Coach, obviously, with the non-conference leads to in-conference, and you already know that Northern Division, it's always a classic struggle to at least to come out of there and qualify for the tournament. Talk about playing in that Northern Division and.
Well, I'll tell you what, Keith. 2 out of the last years, maybe the last 3 seasons, the overall number 1 seed, when we combine the North and the South, the number 1 seed has come from the North. I know Delaware has had a couple of really good years. Norfolk has been on a roll the last couple of years. So Norfolk State and Delaware State have really racked up a lot of conference wins over the last couple of years and has represented the MEAC in conference play as the number 1 seed. So even though Norfolk lost some really good baseball players after last season, 2 of them to the draft in Mauricio and the big lefty Hemorrhage. Still, I'm sure that Coach named my buddy that just recently left the program, left it in good hands. Coach Clark left the program in good hands with a guy that's no stranger to the MEAC that's going to fill in for him. So everyone's expecting a fall off with Norfolk this year, but we're not going to fall into that trap. Norfolk's still going to be tough, and I know that Delaware State still have their arms, their top 2, particularly in De Leon, back. So we know Delaware State's going to be Delaware State. So it's going to be a very tough and competitive Northern Division, and I know that University of Maryland Eastern Shore played real well against us last year, so we can't think anything different going into the 2018 year as they took that last spot from us last year. So it's going to be competitive day in and day out, and we're looking forward to getting in there and this year finishing what we started in 2016 when we were very successful in conference play.
Coach, the MEAC has made serious strides, especially in the postseason with Bethune-Cookman coming within the game, maybe a couple of innings of winning the regional, heading to super regionals, and that, as you know, as a benchmark for MEAC. The MEAC hasn't done anything like that in quite a long time, Coach. What does it say to this conference as far as?
I tell you what, and I know Bethune-Cookman. There was a point in the season before we got into heavy conference play, maybe the first couple weeks of conference play, where both Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman both had RPIs up there in the top 20, top 30 in the country in terms of competitive play. And then Coppin itself opened up at University of Southern Cal. So Bethune-Cookman did a real good job representing the MEAC conference. I happen to have been on the selection committee for the At Birth Lodge, and Bethune-Cookman really made me look good because I was on those conference calls talking about how well I thought that team played and was in position to do some special things in the playoff, and they proved me right, and they earned a number 3 seed. Typically, we're always looked at as a 4th seed, but they listened. They gave them a 3 seed, and they played real well, losing to the eventual national champion in Florida. The conference as a whole are making big leaps. When we look at the quality of wins we're starting to rack up out of conference, including our big win over UMBC last year, a team that went to the regionals. It says a lot for the talent that the MEAC coaches are now recruiting for our conference. I think there's now 4 or 5 conferences now we've leaped over in terms of power rankings. So we're really pleased with that.
Coach, obviously the goal is to win it all and hit the NCAAs. Talk about that goal. I know that's not lost. That's not lost in you in the program. Y'all want to make those strides ahead and possibly win the second MEAC championship. And
Keith, we're close. As I tell the guys, when we look at this, when we look at the roster, how balanced we are this year. On paper, we look really, really good, but you don't ever win or accomplish anything based on what you have on paper. But this is a balanced team. We're blended real well with some youth that's going to help sustain success for us for the future. But more importantly, we have, as I mentioned, we're super heavy with juniors this year, and these are juniors that's very talented, that understand what we're trying to do here at Coppin. They've been around. They've played together now for 2 years, going into their 3rd year. This team has shown some special traits through the fall. The closeness of these guys, they're close knit, and our expectations are high. We have high expectations for the guys. They took care of business in the class. We didn't have really any academic issues with this team. It is a special team, and we're ready to take that next step, Keith. There's no doubt about it. I'm not saying time is running out, but when you look at some of the national publications, and we have guys mentioned in almost every national publication out there in terms of guys that according to the media outlet you listen to or have pro potential, and we have multiple such guys that's mentioned year in and year out, and this year is no different. So at some point we got to put it together on the field, and that's what we hope occurs this year.
And then I've noticed that there's a lot more mentions for the players and the program itself as a rising program. Just talk about that progression, and like there's times we hardly get any respect, and now through these last few years, seeing you all get some recognition and like you're coming up.
That's really important, Keith. I know Baseball America now for the last 2 years have, last year they named us as having the top freshman prospect to come into the conference. Again, this year, I think Perfect Game has mentioned a couple of our guys as being the top impact freshman entering our league or newcomer. So we're starting to get the talent. Guys are recognizing what we're doing here at Coppin. We've stepped up the ante with the recruiting. We're now winning out on some guys that have been in talks with other programs that's been a lot more established than Coppin has. So it shows that the coaching staff's doing a real good job. Guys are trusting us what we're presenting to them. And we're at a point now where really we don't have much more in the way of excuses, but to go out there on the field now and make it happen.
You heard them, folks. Head coach of Coppin State Baseball, Sherman Reed, and hopefully, weather permitting, get this season started this weekend at North Carolina A&T, and I believe it's a 3-game series.
Yep, it's a 3-game series, and right now Mother Nature is not forecasting great things for the Greensboro, North Carolina area this weekend, but we hope that we'll wake up tomorrow morning, there'll be a shift in the forecast, but the plan is a 3-game series there this coming weekend.
That's Coach Reed, you all, and see plenty of them. Come out to Joe Cannon Stadium and see this team play. And I think the first bit of games is Wagner coming in 24th and 25th.
That's right. That'll be at the first home series the following weekend against Wagner.
Get in there and support this team. It's free, and you'll get quality baseball, guaranteed. Thank you,
Thanks,
Coach.
Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you.